Yeah. Listen, we starting a little late today, man, but I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. And you'll forgive me when you find out the reason why we was late. You know what I'm saying? Usually I'm pretty punctual, but today's different because something happened right before the pod started. And it took a little bit of time, but I'm excited to share it with you. Man, let's get into the victory talk. We talking about getting money. We talking about being productive, winning at life. Money, muscle, mindset. Let's go. Yo, what's up? What up? You know what it is, man. It's your man, Big Brandon Carter, a.k.a. King Keto, El Jefe de Ejercicio, Jesus del Gimnasio. And we here to help y'all get some money, man. Help y'all improve your life, improve your money, muscle, and mindset. That's what Victory Talk is all about. All right. As always, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Thot Repellent. Thot Repellent is an easy to apply spray that will keep the thoughts all up off you, right? Because here's the thing: once you start getting all this money that we showing you how to get, right? Once you start building that muscle and that physique that drives the thoughts wild, and you got money, and you strong mentally. You're going to need this. You're going to need the Thot Repellent to keep them off you. All right. So I'd like to thank Thot Repellent for sponsoring the pod in this episode. All right. You know what I'm saying? The whole purpose of the Victory Talk and the free Discord, link in the description, the Victory Unit, is to build a market for this product. All right. Because most of y'all motherfuckers, y'all need it right now. You go outside, man. You are Thot Repellent. You know what I'm saying? But man, once you start getting the money right, once you start getting physique, just imagine. You know, Nima, I posted a video. It's kind of a joke. And I was like, oh man, when I go to the gym, I wear my AP, not the one with all the diamonds, but the other ones. It's a signal. Well, it was like how to pick up girls in the gym. It was back in the day, baby. Back in the day. You see, I wear my Apple Watch now, man. I got to keep, I'm dousing myself in this shit. The sheen you see on my body is me dousing Thot Repellent before I go to the gym. You know what it is. But back in the day. And I was like, they were like, why would you wear this at the gym? You only going to attract, gold diggers. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? Regular women like money too, right? Is a plus, right? Regular women like the same shit gold diggers like. The only difference is gold diggers, that's their only requirement. That's all they care about. But regular chicks like dudes with money too. There's a reason 50 Shades of Grey, when he was beating her ass like fucking Chris Brown, is a reason that dude was a billionaire. There's a reason he wasn't middle class beating the shit out of this girl and she loved it, right? I'm not saying you can beat chicks when you got money. Chris Brown showed us that that's not true either. Chris Brown showed us that, man. He's a prophet. He could have just sprayed her down with this and she'd have ran away. You know what I'm saying? But this product didn't exist. So I'd like to thank Thot Repellent for sponsoring this episode. I think that's where I was going with this. It kind of went off the rails, but this is where we at. We got a lot of people here watching. All your super chats go to the development of Thot Repellent, is what I'm trying to say.
That's how we were able to.
That's how we were able to get the first prototype. This would have saved Chris Brown. She would have been talking all that shit. She probably said something to him like, "That's why you can't dance." Lord of mercy, because she's Caribbean, right? And then he could have just said, and she'd have jumped out the Lambo, and he would have, and he was like, he would have been like, man, I was just spraying my fragrance and she ran away. But we weren't able to bring this to market in time enough to save Christopher, right? But we can save you. Every dollar of your super check goes to the development of Thot Repellent. You see, it's not a joke, right? The way it's able to repel the thoughts is it smells like responsibility, accountability, and labor. Thoughts hate that shit. They hate that shit, man. They can't stand it, right? And this captures that aroma. And then as soon as they smell it, like on a subconscious level, like, accountability. And they scurry like roaches when you turn the lights on.
You're gonna have an ad for that coming out.
Yeah, we're filming. I mean, this is a real thing, guys. This is not like it's not a fucking joke. All your super chats go for this, and you got to help the movement. It's gonna help your fellow man. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. But you know what else is real talk? Real talk. Some good music. It's good music. All right. This weekend, I had a crazy weekend, guys. And I'm going to tell you all about it. Oh, wait a minute. Should I have done real talk? I think I should have told him about the other. Should I have told him about the other thing?
I think to make sure you say it, we can actually.
All right. Pretend that real talk intro didn't just happen. This is live, right? Pretend that happened. I want to show you something else.
Should I roll the intro?
What intro? Baller of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to Baller of the week. We're going to start off with Baller We starting off with Baller of the week. God damn it. And this time, the word legend gets thrown around a lot, right? People say, oh, that guy's a legend. He did something epic. That kind of stuff gets thrown around a lot. A lot of people say that about me. Hear it all the time. And I'm usually inclined to disagree with them. I'm like, no, I'm a mere man. But now I have some evidence to the contrary. Not many mere men can do this shit. So there's a company called Clickfunnels that you can use to build your own landing pages, websites with relative ease, right? And when you do over $10 million with a funnel you made using their software, they give you this. You know what I'm saying? They give you one of these. Let me hit the applause for me. You know what I'm saying? King Keto, and I got the homie Amber Morningstar on here. Big homie, she's a chief operating officer. You know what I'm saying? I'm the owner of the company, but Amber played an integral role once we brought her on board as operations manager. And as a sign of thank you, I put her name on the flag as well because she definitely helped a lot. And $10 million. Just one of the businesses, man. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. I want to tell you a story about this, Black. The first time I ever saw it was in 2017. That's when they first unveiled this. And then that's when I was at the Funnel Hacking Live is the name of the event they have. And I was in line to get this one. This is the $1 million one when you do $1 million. Not bad. I thought I was big shit. Because I had the $1 million one. So when they were giving out all the awards to everybody who did $1 million with their funnel, what I did was I made myself last in line. So I stand out. Everybody remember me because I'm last. And I also was the only one wearing a tank top and Jordans. You know what I'm saying? I think they were Jordan 7s. I don't remember. It was 6s or 7s, but they were hard, So I'm wearing a tank top and Jordans. Everyone else looking all fucking white and shit. And I'm wearing Jordans in a tank top like a G. I'm gonna tell you why I did that. I did that for a specific reason. I did that for you. I'll tell you why later, right? So I get this man, Brandon King Keto Carter. This was for a different business. This was Bro Laboratories, right? You guys remember Bro Laboratories when I used to sell supplements and shit like that. That was for Bro Laboratories. Not bad, right? Not bad. So I make myself last in line. And then Russell Brunson, the CEO of Clickfunnels, gets on stage. Excuse me. And he announced that he has a new award for motherfuckers who did 10 million. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I thought I was the man. I'm not the man. And only a few people got that. Who was one of them? Alex Hormozi. Alex and Leela Hormozi went up and got it. And I was like, fuck. I thought I was the man. This motherfucker just did 10 times as much as me. All right. And I met Alex and he was cool and everything. Leela, she's cool as fuck, all that. And the following year, I started this business, high ticket trainer, and they gave me another one. No, this was like a different year, right? This is 2019. They give me this one, right? And this was the first year I started this business, right? So I'm nice. I'm good at this shit. I gotta be. No, seriously, I gotta be. Cause think about it. Only less than 5% of businesses reach $1 million in revenue, right? I'm better than 95% of businessmen. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people better than me. That word "a lot" is relative, though, right? And I got this one. And I was like, "Fuck!" I still didn't get the other one. And I'm on the phone with Alex. We're talking at the end of 2019. Alex Hormozi, because we were working on something together. We were going to partner up to do something. And he was like, "Man, so how much revenue you do last year, man?" I said, "All right, well, between all my businesses, I probably did 1.5 million, right? Because I did like about one with this one, and then 500K with the Bro Labs, because I was scaling it down at this one. By the time, I was like closing it down, right? So my energy wasn't there. And he said, "Yeah, that's cool, man. I did 30 million." I'm like, "Fuck this shit." He basically said, he didn't say this, but this is what it felt like. And he didn't mean it to feel like this. Alex is a really nice guy. I'm the crazy one. It felt like he said, "Oh, that's cute, sweetheart. That's cute, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one day you can be a real nigga." He didn't say any of those words. But that's how my mind interpreted it. And he's actually a really nice guy. And that's my man's. Oh, shit. I cut myself on the fucking. Damn. I'm going to need a Band-Aid, babe. I'm over here bleeding. It's all good, though, man. Ain't no big deal. All right. So I was like, all right, man, I got to get this, right? I got to get this at some point. And then, now I got it. So it's just kind of cool. Still ain't hit the 30 mil. Because after that, Alex did close to 100 mil and then sold his business for a bunch of shit. He sold his business for like 40 mil or some crazy shit like that. And now he makes YouTube videos. He don't sell you anything. He makes these YouTube videos to help you. He doesn't sell you anything. All right. And thanks for the Band-Aid, Mia Moore and Nima. You know what I'm saying? All right. I forgot all the blood. I forgot what I was saying. Just bear with me, guys. I'm bleeding in real time. This shit is abnormal. Am I the first motherfucker to bleed on a podcast? I think so. We making history. Last day of Black History Month. I'm making Black history right now. First motherfucker to bleed on a podcast and keep podding. You know what I'm saying? Gangster. Just keep podding. I wouldn't even know I was bleeding if I didn't see the blood. I digress. What the fuck was I talking about? Hormozi calling me a bitch, or
just talking about how
much. Hormozi
he
said I was a fucking bitch. He didn't say that. That's what I felt. Anyway, that's my man. He's a dope dude. What the fuck was I saying? I don't remember what the point was. I don't remember the point. Maybe there is no point. Listen, we made $10 million. That's the fucking point. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares about the story? Who cares about my bloody thumb? $10 million is $10 million. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I think this shit's pretty gangster. Now, the problem is, where am I going to put it? It's like I got so many awards. You know what I'm saying? You got these other Clickfunnels awards that I just bled all over. I got my YouTube award for 100,000. YouTube about to send me the $1 million and any fucking, pretty soon. It's like, where they don't talk about that when they talk about success. Like, what do you do with all the fucking awards, bro? What do you do with all the awards? You know what I'm saying? But that's cool, man. That's cool. Now I want to help y'all make some money. Oh, I'm baller of the week. That's where I started. So I'm balling. You see the business is doing good. And I also, another reason I'm baller of the week, because I was at Universal. Mi amor, mi novia. You know what I'm saying? And we went to Universal Studios. And hold on, let me see if I can bring this up on the tablet. It might be the better. We went to Universal Studios, and here's the thing. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Universal Studios. That's gonna be fun. But I didn't want to go there like a regular motherfucker. Of course not. What I did was I got the VIP. Right? So not the fast pass. Okay, there's the fast pass where you can get in a shorter line. That's cool, right? Then there's VIP, group VIP, where you walk around with a bunch of other motherfuckers. Then there's private VIP. That's what I did. Shit was like almost $6K a person, right? I was like, that's it. Give me 2. And then, so we hop in, we go to Universal Studios, and I'm in this motherfucker. Here's the thing. It's some goddamn, there'll be kids in the line. These fucking kids, children, they done waited for like 2 hours to get on the Spider-Man ride. I hop right in front of these motherfuckers. I mean, like right in front of them. No line. We went around the back and we were right in the line. Like, show this, man. This me on the Spider-Man ride. It's me and my girl on the Spider-Man ride. It's 3D and shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at this dude. Right? It's 3D and shit. Yo.
His face.
This ride was fun as hell. All right. Put it back on me. Right. I get off the ride. I'm like, yo, I want to do that again. We just get right back on. Same kids crying who've been in line for an hour. I was like, your daddy broke, nigga. Tell him to step his game up. One day, you know what I'm saying? Tell your daddy step his game up so real niggas ain't cutting you in line. I said that to him. And then we went on this Jurassic Park joint. Look at I'm cool as a fan. Dinosaur trying to eat me. I ain't even tripping, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is us at Universal in front of the thing. You know what I'm saying? Put it back on me. Put it back on me. This the Hulk shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit made my head hurt. I say, put it back on me. I don't know what's next. Oh, this was my shit. The Men in Black. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew what. Come on, man. You might can tell this wasn't my first rodeo. You know what I'm saying? Look at this is our guy. This is the guy who's taking us around the park, able to skip the lines and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo. And then we had oh man, I met Megatron. Megatron was moving and shit. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love that. Hold up, put it back. And then, you know what I'm saying? I met Popeye. You know what I'm saying? My real biceps was bigger than his fake biceps. I want y'all to take that in for a minute. His forearms are bigger. I'll give him that. But my real biceps was bigger than his fake biceps. Just let that fucking sink in. King Keto, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then we rode a tank. This is some shit she always wanted to do, ride a tank. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look at this nigga. Felt right at home. All right. Hold up. We did some other shit. Yeah, this her on the tank. I let her drive the tank. One thing you should notice. This is what she got me for my anniversary. I wanted some black ones. Some black Air Force Ones. If you know, you know. I want you to know that the stereotype is true. Only crazy motherfuckers wear that shit. Hence, I'm on top of a tank. That's why I'm on top of a tank, motherfucker. All right. And then hold on. Let me see, there's one more. Oh, and yo, my girl, check this shit out, man. Let me show what this motherfucker did, man. She drove the tank on a car and crushed it. I thought that was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm baller of the week. They giving me awards.
She says 3 cars.
She crushed 3 cars. Trace Automobilos. I gotta be baller of the week. I make them kids cry because they had to wait in line while I'm riding this shit over and over again. Now I'm going back on Transformers. Oh, you still in line, little nigga? Nigga still in line.
Maybe he's still in line.
He might still be in line, Nima. He might still be in line. I done been on this shit 18 times. And man, I rode every ride that I wanted to ride. Like every ride I wanted to ride, I rode, man. Like these, if you go on the guy was telling me, man, if you go on the regular nigga pass, you might ride. If you stay there all day, you might ride 4 rides once. I rode all the rides I wanted to ride, and the ones I liked, I did them over and over again. Now we going back on Harry Potter. I want to ride the broomsticks. Pause. I'm baller of the week. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be. Unless somebody else did some gangster shit. $10 million. We crushing cars, crushing dreams of the children in line. I'm why the line is so long. Because I keep getting back in that motherfucker in the beginning. Can't make no progress. I hope I inspired those kids to make some money. Same way I want to inspire you to make some money. Which leads us into our next segment. Real talk. This episode is off the rails already. Fucking started late. I'm bleeding all over the place. I'm making fun of children. You do what you want when you popping. All right. Look. Okay. So after Universal, I went to one of my boys' houses. And he's hold on, I gotta blow my nose. This ain't gonna work. But
I got you.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. All right. So after we crushed the tanks and all that stuff, we went to Tampa. One of my boys lived there. He's a baller. He does a few million a year, and he has a podcast. He asked me to be on his podcast. And when he was on his podcast, he said something to me that really struck me in a different way. He said that his mom asked him, was he happy? And he said he thought about it. He said, well, I'm not optimizing to be happy. I'm optimizing to get money. You know, like I don't really think about if I'm happy and I'm just trying to get money. And then he said to me, he said, are you happy, Brandon? Like, but he said it like, are you happy? Like he said it like he expected me to agree with him. And I was like, yeah, man, I am, bro. Like their happiness and making money are independent of each other, right? They're 2 different things, 2 different subjects, right? You can be happy and make money. You can be sad and make money. You can be happy and poor. You can be sad and poor, right? It doesn't, it's they're independent of each other, Right. So when people say money won't make you happy, I'm like, yeah, it's not supposed to, dumbass. It's not, that's not its job. However, being happy can make you money. So it made me reread a book I read called Scrum. I wish I can't find it here. I know I have it, but I went and found the Kindle version. It's called Scrum, right? And I just want to read you a section of this. Hold up. So I took some screenshots on my Kindle app. All right, cool. Oh, can they see it?
I can. Do you want them?
Yeah, let them see it. So here's what we say. Happiness leads to success in nearly every domain of life, including marriage, health, friendship, community involvement, right? And our jobs and business, right? And study after study shows that happiness precedes important outcomes and indicators of thriving. Happiness precedes it. Now, the author of this, he's a consultant, and the author of this book is a consultant who works with a ton of big Fortune 500 companies. He also like government organizations like the FBI and stuff. He's well renowned, one of the best business consultants in the world. All right. And what he does is with businesses, when he goes in, he does something called the happiness matrix, where he'll measure the happiness levels of each employee from scale 1 to 5. And then he puts the averages on this chart. So check out this purple line. This is a screenshot from the book. This purple line is the average happiness of the people in the organization. Now, here's the thing. What he noticed was it's a predictor, right? So this velocity. This is like revenue output, how much money they're making. Once they got the happiness up, right, you can see revenue and everything started to go up. But also, once the happiness started to drop, almost right after, the income level and productivity level dropped. You guys understand? It's a predictor. Like happiness can make you money. I'm gonna go back to what the author said. That's right. People aren't happy because they are successful. They are successful because they are happy. Happiness is a predictive measure, and performance improves even if people are only a little bit happier. You don't have to have. I don't want to read all this. Hold on, that's not what I wanted to read. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me. I might not have put everything. Damn, the one part I wanted to say, right? Well, it's a predictor, right? They weren't happy because they made money. They made money because they were happy, right? I want you to understand this. And here's like studies to back that up, because you can see this when he says right here, you know, happiness leads to success in every domain in our lives, including marriage, health, friendship, community involvement, creativity, and particularly our jobs and career. You see, he has a footnote there, right? And that's to this study that supports his claims. This is a huge metadata study to show that people make more money when they're happy. Let that sink in. You don't make money to become happy, but if you are happy, you will make more money. I hope you guys are getting that part of it. You know what I'm saying? I really hope you're getting this. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, my fault. That's right. I did say it. That's right. Okay, I did read. That's right. People aren't happy because they are successful. They are successful because they are happy. Right? Happiness is a predictive measure, and performance improves even if people are only a little bit happier. You know? This is very important. It's very important, you know, because happiness is an emotion. What is it? What is an emotion? Emotion is nothing but, you know, neurochemicals firing in your brain. That's all emotion is, right? When people have, you know, bipolar depression or something like that, that means there's like something wrong with their neurochemistry. Emotions are biological, like it's happening in your brain. It's not like a real thing outside. It's what's going on in your brain. All right. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, let's just say we got this guy. He a bitch, right? And he's always sad, complaining about life. Woe is me. You know, I didn't even draw this fucking punk right. right? He's always complaining, always sad. That's his normal habitual state of mind, right? That's how he is. That's his normal state, sadness, right? It's his average. And here's the thing, your average state is your personality, right? The state you are in on average is your personality. So he has kind of like a sour personality. You ever met one of these motherfuckers, right? Do they make you feel better when you're around them, or do they drag you down and make you feel like trash? You know what I'm saying? Right? They have like a negative energy, right? And what happens is people don't like this. It's like a repellent. People like want to stay away from this motherfucker. They can't wait to get away from him. They scurry. And it becomes like self-fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? Then let's say you got another guy. He's positive. Every time you see him, man, he's upbeat. Talking about balling and shot calling and shit. You know what I'm saying? Talking about doing dope shit. And are people running away from him? You ever met somebody like this? Like you probably feel better when you're around them, right? They probably uplift you, right? He has typically a more positive state. Real quick, man, who do you think, if they were doing a sales job, these salespeople, which one would you think would make more money? Easily. Okay, who would you rather hire? Who would you rather work with on a project? Who would you rather go into business with? You know what I'm saying? This is why happy people make more money, because nobody likes negative people. It's a repellent. But positive people, everybody likes to be around positive people, man. Positive people, they make you feel good when you're around them, and they get more money as a result. You know what I'm saying? They get more everything. I'm telling you, man. Everybody likes to be around them, man. Because energy is contagious. Energy is contagious, right? So, that's why people like dogs and stuff, right? Because dogs, most of the dogs I see, they seem pretty useless, right? Unless you own a herd of sheep and you're trying to keep them safe from wolves, right? They're probably not working on your land or anything, right? But what they do is give people, they improve people's state, because dogs are always happy. Dogs be excited as fuck just to go outside. Dog run up on you, and you start feeling all good and shit, Or like children, right? When children, when a toddler walks in the room and he's holding a Paw Patrol or something, and smiling and laughing, everybody, the whole room lights up. But then when this asshole walks in the room, everybody's like, ugh, they feel bad. Is it making sense? This is why happy people make more money. They're luckier. You know what I'm saying? So, how do we cats? Someone said cats are superior to dogs. Listen, I like cats because they're like a little calmer. You know what I'm saying? Dogs are little whores. They like anyway. Just fucking lick a stranger. It's whole shit, man. Thot repellent. It's whole shit, but cats are more discerning, man. They only fuck with a certain person. All right, anyway. Dogs are sluts. Soon as they meet a motherfucker, this another dog, he's smelling his ass and dick. You just met this guy. I digress. I like dogs too. Anyway, the fuck was I talking about? Okay, right. So here's the thing: emotions are nothing but neurological cocktails going off in your brain, right? Serotonin, dopamine, testosterone to a certain degree, the oxytocin, right? These neurons, these neurochemicals fire off in your brain, right? But you can control them, right? And there's 3 ways to control your state. you know, I'm gonna get into that later, right? There's ways to control your state. We're gonna get into that in a minute, but first you need to know how to manage, how to measure it, right? If it can't be measured, it can't be managed. That's what Peter Drucker said, right? So you got to measure it first, right? Everyone says they want to be happy, but like, I don't know, let's take it seriously. If what you say is true, then let's take it seriously. So what I did was, you know, guys, here's the thing. I have bipolar 2, right? I don't have to take meds because I learned how to manage it with what I'm going to teach you now, right? But let's say you don't have a mental disorder, right? This is going to work even better for you, right? So if you really want to be happy, listen to me. And you don't need to make more money to do this, right? I don't want you to make money to be happy. I want you to be happy and make money, right? Be happy fucking today, right? So I would take a piece of paper. I carried around this little notebook. Because this was before iPhones were out, right? And I would mark it, or make a graph on it, mark it from 1 to 10, and then I'll just also mark like the time 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Oh, that was dyslexia 12. Right, so I'll just mark the hours of the day that I'm awake, and then every two hours or so, I would just mark where I'm at on a scale of 1 to 10. So 10 would be, for example, the way Drake felt when the Raptors won the NBA championship, right? A 1 would be a guy who's like seriously like suicidal, right? Like he might need to call the suicide hotline. That's 1. 10, Drake at watching the Raptors win. All right. So I would just mark where I was at, man. Boom, where am I at throughout the day? I would take notes of like the peaks, and I'll also take notes of the lows, right? Every few hours, boom. Now, then I had a nice little graph of how my day went. And the thing is, everybody's emotions are going to fluctuate throughout the day. So it's kind of weird when people say they want to be happy. Like, what the fuck do you even mean, bro? It's like, do you mean you want unbroken, perpetual happiness for the end of time? Right? Do you mean that you never want to feel a negative emotion again? I don't think that's what they mean. I think they mean they want to be in a higher emotional state on average. That's what I mean. All right, well, let's find out what the average is. Let's find out what the fucking average is. So after I would do this, you can add it up and you can kind of like see what the average is. Boom. That yellow line would be like my average. Okay. 6. Not bad, not awful, not great. Right. And I think that's what people mean when they say they want to be happy. They want to raise their average state. Because I think I hope they don't mean that they want to be happy all the time. They want their life to be an unbroken boulevard of green lights and they'll never encounter any situation that would affect them negatively. I hope that's not what they mean, because that's an unrealistic standard to hold yourself to. Right. So you have 2 states, like states of being. You have your momentary state, that can change any moment, right? Then you have your baseline state, or your average, right? The yellow line represents my average. The blue dots represent my momentary state. Can they see the yellow?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
No, it's clear.
All right, bet. And what the thing is, the first thing I did, instead of just trying to be positive or trying to be happy, I just kind of took notes of where the lows were, right? So if there was a super low, I would mark Y. All the lowest points, I would just mark Y. And I just tried to get rid of the lows. And when I did that, just doing that over time, like reducing the lows, right? So maybe one of the things was like, being late, like super late would put me in that position, or waking up late, would be a low for me because I wouldn't get as much stuff done. I noticed that being hungry would put me in a low state, right? So I just tried to get rid of the lows, and just doing that raised my average. Not even getting, not even trying to be happy. You're just trying to get rid of as many lows as possible. Sometimes I've dumped women. This is true. I've dumped women I dated because they were making. I looked at the graph. I looked at the data. I was like, "Yep, too low." The hoe too low. If the hoe too low, she gotta go. I would get too many lows fucking with her, right? And then here's the thing. So now, then I started to try to pay attention to the highs once most of the lows are gone and try to maximize those. You know, so I noticed, okay, when I'm making content, I feel real good. When I'm coaching my students, I feel real good. Or like when I'm coaching people, I feel real good. So all right, let me do more of that. You know, I found reasons. I wasn't trying to hit a 10 all day long. That's unrealistic. That's an unrealistic expectation to hit a 10 all the time. You know, and a lot of the shit that gets you to 10 is probably not good for you to do every day or long term, right? I'm trying to just increase the average. And then what would happen was I do this whole thing again. Let me just erase all this. Do this whole thing again. It's like, okay. Oh, sorry. Let me get this one. Now I don't have as many, the lows aren't as low. And there's more highs and not as many lows. And it was gradual. And I used the data to make like life decisions based off being happier. You know? And I was doing this when I was broke. I think this is why I'm according to the data. And now I have a way higher baseline state. The average is higher. And I think that's what people mean. But it's like, I don't know how you do that without the data. Well, when you get the data to show what's making you happy, what's making you sad, you try to put more of that. But here's where it gets real. Sorry. Here's where the magic happens. It's not just the data, right? It's also the fact that, remember, emotion is a biological thing. Right? Emotions are a biological thing. They are nothing. Emotions are nothing but neurochemicals firing in your brain. That's all they are. And if it's biological, that means you can train it. Right? The same way, you know, Steph Curry, he doesn't have to think about dribbling a basketball between his legs or something. He's done it so much. He's trained. He could do it on autopilot. He's trained his nervous system to react a certain way. You can train your nervous system to feel an emotion. I swear to God, you can just train yourself to be in a certain state more often. And you got to track it to see how you're doing. And I think it's the most powerful thing you can do. Right. So it wasn't even about, I wanted to make money to be happy. Yo, I've been happy. If you watch some of my old videos, man, I'm fucking happy. 8 and 10 years ago on this, I'm happy. And I wasn't a multi-millionaire then, balling out of control. But I was still happy. I'm not happier now. And that it wasn't the goal to get money to be happy. Is like they're independent of each other. Right? So when people say money won't make you happy, it's not supposed to. But happiness will make you money. According to the studies I showed you, the data, and you see why. Nobody wants to do business or be around a sour motherfucker, right? You know what I'm saying? These people attract even more bad luck. It's self-fulfilling, right? But if you can train yourself to be in a happier state more frequently, then you'll get more opportunities. People will be excited to work with you, to network with you, to do things with you. If you're in any kind of sales, it's going to make it way easier. Like way, way easier. And this is the first part of this. If we have time later, I'll show you some more tactics on increasing your state if you want that, right? But right now, man, I think I see my man Romulus here. So let's bring in Romulus for the market recap. Let's.
Well,
all right,
Brandon, is
y'all.
So awesome to be back. I missed you last week. I took.
Come on, we missed you, Romulus.
I know. I had some balling to attend to. Right?
Yeah, you did.
Right. Exactly. So you know what I was doing? I was out there in the deep dark lab, developing further investigations into that repellent that we're digging deep into.
Well, listen, we're working. Listen, Romulus, you know we need it. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
like,
the X
work.
labs over at Google got nothing on us about.
Listen, man, they don't need it, right? Those nerds don't need it, but like the victory unit, they need it.
This bad boy's going 1,000x all day long. So I want to extend a piece of gratitude if I could. We're everybody out there should be living an attitude of gratitude. Am I right about that?
That's a fact.
You sometimes, I get it. We've all been through times. Sometimes you got to just take a step back for a quick second, just gather yourself. And I don't mean, just a quick second, just put some cold water on your face, you bastards, and get right back into it. All right.
Yeah, man.
I mean, look, you don't need to be sitting there at some kind of a spa for a couple of months. Just throw some water in your face, sit down for 1 second, get back to it. So last week, this crowd, this awesome Victory Unit crowd was very gracious. And I'm extending my gratitude to the crowd to have my guy and your guy, Greg. Now, everybody listen up.
Come on.
Brandon and I.
Sorry, I had to give the response, the shout out to Greg. He did a fantastic job.
It is worth it. Brandon and I have been training and teaching and mentoring Greg in different ways over the last several years. And boy, that boy is coming on. He is coming on strong, coming on great. He's doing awesome. And that is something that everybody in the Victory Unit can get for themselves. Put a little effort into it, everybody. That's all we're looking for. So last week, it always takes a second here to put the screen up and running. And we're going to do that. And by the way, here we are. So almost ready to go. I'll pick that screen and it'll pop up. I'll change it to a different color background so it's a little bit easier for everybody to watch. There you go. Okay. So I'm heading out, Brandon. I'm going into the Blue Abyss tomorrow, bright and early. Heading to the land of fruit and nuts, going to California.
Oh,
that's right.
All right.
I got one of my sons. I have 3 boys, so there's a lot of testosterone going around here when they were.
This man can't miss.
Yeah, right.
Shooting 100%.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's amazing when we're doing around here in this Legion. But
come on,
I can't miss when I'm raising kids either. So I raise emperors in my family, Brandon. I raise emperors. So one of my sons is a Division I, not 2, 3. He's not second string. He's a Division I athlete.
Come on.
And his school is competing against Stanford University on Saturday.
We're
heading out there. We're going tomorrow. We're going to the city of San Francisco for a couple of days, see some friends and family. Then we're going to go see the young lad destroy his competition. Then I'm going to the beach and I'm going to surf, baby. That's right. I'm going to be surfing.
Let's get it.
For a couple of days. So looking forward to that. Now, you guys all welcomed our young mentee, Greg, on the show last week, and he showed you a trade that he and I have we just keep coming back to it and coming back to it and coming back to it. It's just like that awesome piece of food that your mom cooks for you. You just can't stay away, right? You can't say, she knows what your favorite is. She knows, she calls you and she says, I'm cooking it. And you know what you're going to do. You're going to go home. You're going to go see her, right? You're going to go see her and she's going to serve that up for you. And we've been doing that. It hasn't even been a stock, Brandon. You know that. It hasn't even been a stock that we've been crushing it on. Okay. It's actually a commodity, natural gas, not the kind of gas you put in your car. It's not what we're talking about. This is the kind of gas that heats your home. This is the kind of gas that powers up a power plant to give you the air conditioning, the lighting. This is the kind of gas that goes, liquefies, and heads over to Western Europe. So those free countries don't have to depend on that bastard Putin for this is the kind of gas we're talking about. You don't have to get involved in the futures market. Futures trading can be a little bit tricky. It's not quite as plain and simple as stock market trading. It has always been there's always been a wrinkle to it, but you can go and buy and sell this. You can buy and sell.
We've been buying and selling it, haven't we?
I'm going to name my boat natural gas. We've been doing so much. And by the way, we've done 6 trades since the middle of January in this particular basket. And you may not even remember because I know that you're out there doing everything. Do you know how many of those 6 trades were losers?
0, right?
0.
0, yeah.
0. So we're going to call my boat natural gas. Who's down in Miami during the big party season. You're going to see me on the 100-footer and it's going to be called natural gas.
Yeah.
So last week, the mentee Greg, the young lad Greg, was bringing this up, showing everybody. Okay. He talked about buying that right there. That was Tuesday.
Right there. He said buy it. If you go watch it last week's episode, Greg said buy it. He said buy it.
You don't take my word or Brandon's words for it. Actually, you do that because we're smart as hell and we got a lot of money.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Take our word for it. But you should check it out. There's nothing wrong with going back and watching great videos with me and Brandon. As a matter of fact, that's what you should be doing with all of your time.
Be doing all your time. That's all you should be doing.
He told you to buy this right here. He told you to buy this UNG right here. And look, you see these when it turns green, that means it's going up. That means you should have been making money with us.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's what it means.
What percentage is it up since Greg made that call?
I lost track.
Yeah.
I lost track.
It was like up 9% the very next day. Like by the end of the next trading day, it was up 9%.
This is what happens in the Legion. So not only that, the other day we actually bet against it, and then it fell in the morning, and we took that profit. And this is what we do around here. We don't care what direction it goes. We just keep making our money. And Greg, everybody, listen, Greg just handed that to you. Okay.
He just gave that to y'all, man.
He gift wrapped it. He put a little ribbon and a bow on it, and boom, boom, boom. He might as well come over to your house and just dump some cash on your desk. That's what he should have done. But he doesn't like you that much. You know,
not that
much.
much.
Not that
much.
He doesn't want to come and hang out at your house quite yet. No, it's not a good idea to still buy it. No. As a matter of fact, it's not a good idea, Stephen. I appreciate you checking in.
It's not a good idea right now.
You did well. You made a buck. Okay, your percentage gain on that was pretty monstrous for holding it. What did you hold that for? 3-4 days?
Yeah.
Come on, that's phenomenal, right? That's phenomenal. So market goes on, though. That's not the only action in this particular casino. We have the big one. Now, you remember last week, Brandon? I put in this golden circle right here.
Yeah.
Okay? By the way, when I drew this in, the market was, up in this neighborhood. We talked about it coming down to the circle. You see all these things, these lines, these squiggly lines, these straight lines. Can I break down the cues? Yeah, sure. We'll do that in a minute. Why not, Christian? We'll do that for you. So you see this golden circle. This is just an area where there was a lot of stuff. Okay. A lot of stuff happening around here. A lot of support areas, some previous resistance areas. It's like the market attracts to those areas, like a moth to a flame. All right. Or like a thought to a baller.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
Like
you got to douse yourself down.
Is what the stock market was doing. In other words, it just couldn't help itself.
It couldn't help itself. It's not even his fault.
I mean, I get it, right? We understand where they're coming from, but it doesn't mean we want to be surrounded and choked out by it. That's all. That's all we're doing over here. So it gets sucked down into this vortex. Now, prices pull back. February was a down month. When you look at the month to month, it started off right here at 4077. Ended at 39.70. So it's down a little over 100 points. Okay. A little over almost 2.5% there on the pullback for the month of February. But it really happened from here. That high in February. So what does it hit? That line that we drew in last year.
Yeah.
It hits that massive resistance line, starts pulling back. And by the way, my Centurions in the Legion, including Brandon, we were all making money from this fall. Don't sweat that. We're right there with it.
Man, it was listen, Brom, that was one. Like if I hadn't been seasoned trading with you for the last few years, that was one that was like I had over I had close to 200K riding on that short. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, it turned out well for me, obviously, but had I not been a seasoned Legion member, I might have been sweating.
And we talked through it. Said, look, as it pulled back. You say, okay, take a little bit of profit. Not everything, take a little bit of profit, sell some cover calls in some of the positions and let it ride. And what did that do? That just added more sweetness to your cake. That's all.
Come on, man. I'm way up.
That's all that did.
Yeah, that's all that did.
That was just bonus on top of bonus right there. So the market's pulling back. It was fairly swift. I get it. 5.5, almost a 6% correction in a few weeks. It comes into this area. In other words, prices went down. Stock prices got cheaper. That's what happened during the month of February. And it bumped into all of this action at that golden circle.
Yeah.
This support line, this all resistance line, these moving averages. That's the 50. That's the
200. And the 100.
And the
200.
The 200. Yep, the red 200 right here.
Yeah.
It's all in the same neighborhood. And by the way, I'm not the only one who knows this. Every trader at Goldman Sachs knows this. Every trader at Ray Dalio's shop knows this. We all know this. And yet, the response has been weak as shit.
Yeah.
Okay? The response has been limp. Look, let me put it to you this way. And I've used this analogy before, but it's always great because now is the perfect time to demonstrate it. A store has shirts, 1,000 t-shirts. They're selling them for $20. They sell 5. They have 1,000 of them. They need to sell more shirts. $20 is not the right answer. Next day, what do? Cut the price. Sell them for 15. Well, now they only sell maybe 100 more. Oh, they got a lot of shirts still. They cut the price again to 10. And they sell maybe 200 or 300. They still have 600 shirts. They got a problem.
They got to keep cutting the price.
They cut the price. Now they cut it to $5 a shirt. Boom. There's a melee. There's a riot. There are fights. There's lines to get into that store and buy those shirts. What we're seeing here is the price went down of these shirts evidently just hasn't been cut low enough to generate that level of demand where you see a riot or a melee to get a hold of those stock prices. And you're seeing it right here in front of you. Its proof is in the visual pudding. Prices are not low enough. If prices aren't low enough, what does that mean? Typically, they have to go lower. Okay? Typically, they have to go lower. So it doesn't mean that it's going to go water falling down to 3,000 overnight. But whatever the case is, and you could see there hasn't been an enthusiastic buyer reaction to these low prices for the past week. And the prices have been here for a week. The buyers have had a week to get their shit together, to line up their money, get all organized and buy. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it. So that means prices typically, not always, but typically have to go lower to generate that demand, to spark that enthusiasm, to put that buyer's riot in place. And it's not there yet. Now, I've got a feeling that this has been kind of circulating around. This little cluster right here, which is mid-late December, early January. Yeah. This is kind of that area where we might see prices get down, where we might see that little bit of a spark. You see all the stuff where it couldn't get through, and then it finally does. The problem with this breakout right here, which was January 6th, to be quite specific and detailed, you don't see a volume jump on that day, do you?
That's right. There's no volume. I remember you taught me that, right? Like there's no volume.
There's no volume on there. In other words, there was no riot. It was just, hey, all right, let's go buy a couple of shirts. Big deal. We'll have a few. That's not what you want, though. You want to see a riot. You want to see a fight. You want to see lines. You want to see brutality to get their hands on that stock. And then you know you're in aggressive buying company. That's what you want when you get long in the stock market. Aggressive buying company. You don't want to be the only one in the shark pool. Not in this kind of stuff. Okay. It's not where you do this. That's some other field of endeavor, but not in the stock market. So stock prices have to come down. Yeah, probably a little bit lower. Probably a little bit lower. So we had a question a few minutes ago, Brandon, and I don't mind taking questions from Great Victory Unit participants. All right. They want us to break down a little bit of the Q action. So we just did the S&P. Qs will pretty much, there we go. So that's the question from Mr. Luna. We're going to get to it. Qs are generally going to follow the S&P. They're not going to go wander off into the Netherlands by themselves. This is not 1999 after all. That was a time when they went their separate ways. They had a brutal breakup and they went off and did different things. But this is not one of those times. So they'll generally trade, not day to day, maybe not even week to week, but generally speaking, they'll pretty much correlate with each other. That means they're going to move in similar directions, similar amplitude, similar magnitude. If you don't know those words, look them up. You should get comfortable learning words that you don't know.
But they're reaching the 200 as well, right?
Yep. So they're
right underneath the 200.
Come back to that. The S&P hit the 200 a couple days ago and has been kind of messing around with it. The Nasdaq 100, the Qs, which is the specific question here, hit the 200-day a couple of days ago. Kind of messing around. Qs is the
Nasdaq for those of y'all don't know the Nasdaq.
Yeah. So the big Nasdaq is right here. You see that it actually went below the 200 for that same day. Then
wow.
Slight weak rebound there. And the Nasdaq 100. This is the bigger of the tech companies. So this is where companies like Apple and Microsoft and Google hang out. Okay. That's where they live. They're the biggest of the tech companies. So all of this is to say that just like the S&P 500, more likely than not over the next several weeks it will have a tendency to kind of slip down. More likely you'll see something like that with the Nasdaq as well. See, the problem for the tech stocks, these interest rates. I mean, look.
Yeah, they keep going up.
You see this right here? This is the 2-year note for the U.S. government. That means they'll pay if they borrow money for 2 years, they will pay 4.83% right now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they'll pay to borrow money for 2 years. This is the highest it's been on a closing basis in 16 years.
New highs.
16-year high, not an intraday. That's over here, but 16-year high on the 2-year. The 10 years not really lagging. I mean, it's performing a little bit of a base in here. This is kind of an ascending triangle, not a long-term one. A couple of trading days, maybe a week. That doesn't have a whole lot of significance. Nevertheless, it's still there. And this could lead to a little bit of a further breakout as well. Look, inflation's still around. That's a problem. That's going to create a problem for these guys, the tech stocks also. So I like the question, and I enjoyed answering that. Thanks for it.
Well, Rhymes, man, we've been making money this whole time, even though the stock market's been going down like all last year, and this year's had a little bit of a rebound, but we made money off that too, man. That's what we do, man.
I don't care what direction the market goes. Matter of fact, one of the phrases I have coined many phrases in my career. One of them that I own the trademark on and copyright on is consistent returns regardless of market direction. This is one of those examples. And hey, if the stock market's kind of flaking out, being a little bit little less predictable than it sometimes is, no worries. We'll just go hop on my natural gas boat.
Yeah, you know it is. Well, listen, man, right? Yo, if y'all want to learn more about this stuff, make sure y'all join the Victory Unit Discord. The link is.
See you in there, then I might hunt you down.
Come on, man. You got to learn. You got to learn to get this money, man. We've been out here getting money, guys, and you know it's super serious.
And this is an opportunity. You're talking about ways that people can improve themselves, and happiness is not coming, with money. There was a Harvard professor that I took a course under a while ago. He calls it the happiness effect. Okay, It's pretty wild. He said, look, don't work hard and then become happy. I'm going to go to college, and then I'm going to get the good job. Then I'm going to work hard and get the money and get the woman and get the house and get the kids. And then I'm going to be happy. Then you won't be. You'll be sick is what you'll be. Okay. You'll be tired. You'll have diabetes. Yeah. You'll be looking for the next closest bar to drink your sorrows away. That's what you'll be doing. No, he said, and he did a study on this, a multi-decade study that came out of the psychology department of Harvard. And he was able to get it out there. Sean Aker, by the way, is his name. Sean Aker.
Sean Aker. Can you write that down?
The happiness effect. Sean Aker.
The happiness effect. Oh, I have that book. It's over
happiness
here.
Effect. Yeah. So I took the course.
You took the course?
I took a Harvard course called The Happiness Effect. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And he taught it. So he shows studies, says, no, the people that do better in life are the ones that are happy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the same thing I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying.
They're already happy. And look, money, and Brandon may not have gotten into this. Here's what money is for me. Money allows me to do for others. Money allows me to do for others. I'll tell you another quick study. This was out recently. They gave 100 people, 50 people each. They gave them, they gave them all, I don't know, it was like $1,000. 50 of them, they had to spend the money on themselves. The other half, the other 50 people had to spend the money on someone else. And then they interviewed them all and said, do you feel happy? Only a handful of the people that spent the money on themselves said they were happy. Almost all of the people who spent the money on someone else were happy. Yeah. Okay? Money is just an opportunity for me to do for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like my family, people that I care about, people that are in trouble. I mean, look, you're going to see in the next 6 to 12 months, times are not going to be easy. And you got to look, if you're overweight, lose some weight. Okay. On, if you're not working hard enough, go work harder. You need to bolster your defenses right now. You need to build your walls. That means mental, physical, financial. What are we talking about here? Money, mindset, fitness, right?
Yeah. Money, muscle, mindset, man.
Money, muscle, mindset. That's what it's all about. You need to bolster your defenses and beef up your action in all three of those areas. That's what you need to do right now.
Because it's about to get, because you're saying it might get dark in the next 6 to 12 months out here.
I mean, look, we've had it so easy for so long.
Yeah, real easy.
What are you going to do if the Chinese come over the wall? Are you ready? I'm not kidding. Are you ready? Because they're ready. And they're not playing games, these people. I'm not saying they're going to come next week, but it's just a time to put the soda can down. All right. Yeah. It's time to get off the couch.
Yeah.
It's time to beef up.
Start getting ready, man. Guess I can be prepared for anything. That's we're going to help you do that in the Discord.
You get to a point like Brandon and I where you don't have to get ready because we're always ready.
Stay ready. Stay ready, Romulus. You know what it is. I know you do.
You wake up, you're ready. Middle of the night, you're ready. Middle of the day, you're ready. You're just ready.
Okay? Wake up ready. Well, listen, we want to help y'all get ready. Join the Victory Unit. Romulus in there. I'm in there. Greg in there. And we want to help y'all. It's free.
I better see you or I'm going to hunt you down.
Oh, come on, Good man. Night. All right. Thank you so much, Romulus. The Happiness Effect. I read that book and I forgot about it, but I got it around somewhere. I'm gonna find it. All right, we got super chats.
We do.
Should I answer them or should I get in the habits of a winner? The time crunch. All right, you know what? Let's answer some super chats because they help support the research and development for Thot Repellent, and we need to go ahead and acknowledge them, brothers.
We have Drew. That intro goes hard.
It does. Money. It does. Thank you. I made the intro to this. I made that beat. I'm playing the guitar. playing the guitar and drums. That's all me, man. No samples. Shout out to you, dude. You're a good judge of musical prowess.
We have income tools.
Income tools back at it again.
Loving the content lately. Finally able to donate. Haha.
Come on, man. Let's go. 500. Was that those dollars? That might be something. It's a different denomination.
It's not dollars.
It could be anything. That could be 5 million. That can be 5 cents. Whatever, man. Yeah. Shout out to Income Tools. It look like he's from Sri Lanka or something. You know what I'm saying? Someplace.
We have Ashton. How do you learn best from books? Revision cards?
No, I don't do that. You know what I do is a book I like a lot. I'll take notes in. I'll highlight or underline when I'm reading, or even with the Kindle, you can do that. And then I'll go back and like reread my notes and stuff. You know, for me, I gotta really like a book to sit down. Okay, if I'll read a book, I'll highlight what I like. If I really like it, then I'll go make my own synopsis of it in like notes or Google Docs or something. And if I really, really like it, then, you know, I'll read the whole book again or just read that part. But that's what I've been doing a lot this year. I've been rereading books that have influenced me, you know, because when you read a book again, it always hits different, but the content didn't change. It's like you changed. You know what I'm saying? So that you can see it from a different perspective. So that's what I've been doing a lot this year. I mean, I've read a bunch of new books, but I've been just going back to old books and just rereading them. And a lot of it is just when you hear it again, it starts to become in you and not on you. You know what I'm saying? And you start hearing, you read a bunch of books on a bunch of topics, you start seeing the crossover ideas and, oh, I heard that before, I heard this before, and you start making different connections. It's super impactful. Yeah. Thanks, Income. Whatever his name was. What's his name?
Ashton?
Ashton. Classic Ashton. Yeah.
He donated 3 times.
Oh, again.
This is the second time.
All right.
Hi, Brandon, 17.
All right.
Should I work 4 jobs like you did? I'm in school 3 times a week and trying to write a copy on the side and working 1 job at the moment. Okay.
When we get in the habits of the winter, I will address that. Exactly what you should do. But the quick answer is, depends on what your goals are. You know what I'm saying? You know, to get money, you got to have leverage. To get big money, you got to have leverage. That's when people say work smart, not hard, it means like use leverage, right? But if you don't have leverage, you got to work hard. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how much leverage you have, right? Like broke niggas can't work smart because they broke, right? You don't have, how do you work smart if you broke? You don't. You just fucking work hard until you get enough money, use that as leverage to start working smart.
And 1 more from him.
Ashton's back at it again.
He really wants the Thot repellent.
Come on, man. Listen, that's why he got his shirt off in the thing. He got it. Look at him. He's got his shirt off in the thing, man. Of course he needs Thot repellent.
My triceps are lacking right now. Any advice?
Oh, any advice? Try. You know what, man? I see why he would ask me. No. This. Look at that. They need to see the striations in that motherfucker.
They don't hear you.
They need to see the striations in that. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. God damn. You know what, man? I do full body workouts every day. All right. And the only thing I do for triceps that isolates them is rope curls, and I do drop sets. Right. So incorporate that rope curl. Do is like pick a weight. You can only do like 6 or 8, and then lower the weight immediately. No rest. Do 6 or 8, to failure. Then lower the weight again and go to failure. Do like 3 drop sets and 4 sets of that. But your bicep, your arm should get a lot of work from your push muscles, right? So when you work chest, it's very difficult. When you're doing a compound chest movement, you're going to work your biceps, right? When you're doing a compound shoulder movement, you're going to work your triceps. And so it's you should be getting a lot from your compound movements. If you're not, then you want to add some isolation. I really like drop sets on the cables, or closed grip bench. Underrated, super underrated tricep exercise. Closed grip bench press. Solid advice right there. Solid advice.
We have Drew back. Do you have any good book recommendations on RAS?
On RAS, the RAS reticular activation system. RAS. This is what we're gonna start calling. I like that. I like that better. No. I actually don't have no. I first learned about it from my boy Owen Cook, and you know what? I mean, the closest thing where he touches on it is "Awaken the Giant Within" by Tony Robbins. He touches on it for sure. All right, and but you got. Oh.
We got OA. Can you do a vid on how millionaires budget?
We're going to get into that. Right. You know what? I'm going to get into that. In Habits of the Winner. But if you guys see my, what video is it that I have where I talk about MBA accounting?
Yeah, it's, I can't actually put it, but it's about how to manage your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a video on what's it called? What's the title?
I can check.
Yeah.
I can check.
Yeah. I kind of go into it a lot more. It's more complex than I have time to go.
I want to check right now and just
okay, cool. All right.
What are we doing?
You know what? Okay. Okay. Let's go with Habits of the Winner, and then we'll get to the next super chat. Was that a $50 one? I might answer that one. Was that 50 or
5?
Oh no! All right, we'll come back to that. All right. Habits of a Winner. You know what, Nima? There's something I didn't finish on. There's something I wanted to get to on this last. Okay, so when you do the video, you're gonna have to take this far. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, real quick. When we go back to what I was talking about last time about being happy, you can actually change your state at any time. All right, real quick, I want to talk about this. All right, how do you control your state? Right, boom. There's 3 ways to control your states. One is with your body. How you move your body affects your state, right? So some white lady on, I think her name is Amy something. She made she did a TED Talk where she showed the studies where people they took groups of individuals, right? They took groups of people. They tested their testosterone levels and their cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone that your body releases when you're stressed, right? And they measured it before the experiment. And then this is how the experiment went. They had half of them, group A, sit and pose for like 2 minutes like little bitches, right? They had sad poses. And then they had group B pose for 2 minutes in victorious poses, looking like King Keto, right? Victorious poses for 2 minutes. Then they tested their hormone levels, right? The group A's, the people who were sitting like little punks, their cortisol levels shot up, right? And their testosterone levels actually lowered. Like their testosterone levels dropped. Group B's testosterone levels increased and their cortisol levels dramatically decreased, right? Because your body can control your actual emotions, not just the way you think it is, but actually on a chemical level, right? The neurochemicals will change depending on how you move your body, right? So whenever I'm like not feeling real great, I'll go for a walk, go outside, bam, get in nature, you can start moving. Maybe you work out. You know, I used to have a trampoline at my old office in New York. And whenever I wasn't feeling good, or if I needed to feel super good for something, if I needed to get myself in a real pumped up state, I jump on the trampoline. I never seen somebody get on the trampoline and not smile. I just ain't seen it happen. Right? Because motion creates emotion, right? But it's not just like hocus pocus. It will actually change it on a biological level. The chemicals in your brain will change depending on how you move your body. Right? The second way is your environment, right? So when I say your environment, it's not just, okay, here's the thing. Think about it. Have you ever been in a clean place? Most of you probably work better in a clean place than you do in a messy place. I think that's most people, right? There's actually studies that show that people do, right? Just environment is different. It has an effect on your emotions. So if you're in a place with not a lot of sunlight or whatever, you just won't feel as good, right? It's not just your physical surroundings, but it's also, when I say environment, I also mean the people you surround yourself with, right? Kind of like we talked about earlier. Like if you're around this asshole, right, you're gonna feel worse. You ever seen somebody angry? You ever seen somebody angry walk into a room? He changes the energy of the whole room. You feel it, right? Right? He literally makes other people. He changes their state in a negative way, right? But you also see, a fucking toddler or a puppy run into a room. Everybody lights up. It's also the people you're around too, right? It might be some of y'all might be around here fucking up people's state with your bullshit. But the most important way to change your thought, the most important way to change your state, the most powerful, is your focus. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel, right? Even if it's not real. Even if it's not real. For example, just imagine right now, like a family member dying. Go ahead, do it. All right. You don't do it for long, right? But if you do, you'll get sad. Just imagine it's not even happening. This is shit that's not happening, but you feel it just because you focus on it for a second. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel, whether it's real or not. So you got to be real careful about what you focus on, right? So this is, if you know me and you spend any time with me, I'm always focused on things that are positive. I'm always looking for positive things in other people, positive things in myself, positive things about situations, because I need to approach these things with a better mindset. You know what I'm saying? I need to approach these things in a way where I get the most out of myself. And what that means in practice is like never complain about anything. Right? Never complain about anything. I don't care what it is, right? Because you're going to focus on that thing and you're going to feel bad, right? Never complain. Don't be negative. You can never be negative about anything. I'm not telling you to be positive. I'm telling you don't be negative, because you're going to focus on negativity and then you're going to feel different as a result. You know what I'm saying? Like if you, think an example. It's like if you're hungry, don't say, "Oh, I'm so hungry," right? Just say, man, I can't wait to get some food." You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm so tired, man. I'm so tired. And it's like, nah, you need to say, I need to get some energy. You know what I'm saying? You will focus on the positive side of everything. Or not, you know what? It's not even about being positive. Just don't be negative. You can't be negative. It's like everything you do, everything you got to actually change your language. You know what I'm saying? And if you do that and you're tracking it, things will change, right? Because to get results, right, you got to take actions, right? However, the actions, the quality of the actions are influenced by your state. Like people don't seem to understand that, or they don't take that into account, right? Two salespeople doing the same exact thing, the one with the better state is going to have better results. They're both going to get results, but like, what results do you want to have? Right? The state that you perform the action in actually matters. Think about it. You ever had an unenthusiastic blowjob? Right? Like she just wasn't in. She's like, oh, all right. Right? But then you had a motherfucker who was just, but then you had a motherfucker who was scrambling for that dick. Couldn't wait, diving on it like a loose ball at the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're doing the same action, but because they're different states, the results will vary. I feel like you guys gotta get all that. You can get that analogy. So here's the thing. If you have to do a sales presentation, if you're in a shitty state, what kind of outcome you think it's going to have? Like, what's the quality of the action? This is one of the reasons why happy people make more money. Because when you have the happy, positive state, even if you perform the same actions as a guy who's pissed off all the time, you're going to get better results. Because the quality of those actions matter, right? Nima, when you edit this for the regular video, put that like earlier, because I forgot to say it. That part was like supposed to be earlier. You'll figure it out. I trust you.
You got it.
But they hearing it now, right? And this is why state control is so important. Listen, here's what it is. So when people say money won't make you happy, they have the shit all wrong. Those motherfuckers don't know shit about being happy or making money. They can give you, they're probably not qualified to give you advice on either one, right? Because they are being negative already. And money's not supposed to make you happy, dipshit, right? You're supposed to get happy and make money. Man, I'm good at this. I did say the shit out of order, but all right. That wasn't supposed to be habits of winner. Run it one more time. Habits of a winner. Okay. Now we're going to do the 8 mistake. All right. There's a lot of mistakes that the average person is making them, is keeping them broke, stopping them from getting money, stopping them from balling. And the problem is some people will make these mistakes their whole life and never really reach the financial status they want to. And then as a result, they get all fucking angry and they start talking shit about people who are out here balling. Me, they become a hater. I don't want you to grow up to become a hater. So I'm going to teach you the 8 mistakes that are keeping you from balling so you can avoid them right now. Let's get into it. Number 1, your standards aren't high enough. So your whole life is a reflection of your standards, right? Think about how much you weigh, right? If somebody put a gun to your head and said, hey, I'm going to be back in 2 months and I'm going to shoot you in the face if you don't lose 15 pounds of fat, that same 15 pounds you've been trying to lose all year. Like if you knew you was going to die, you'd figure it out, right? Right? Your life is a reflection of your standards, right? So you don't get what you want. You get what you have to have. And it's not a must for you. It's kind of just an idea for most people. They would like to make a lot of money. They would like to get rich, but it's not a must, right? You got to find a way to make it a must, make it mandatory. Because if you do that, you will have it. I want you to think about all the goals you've ever tried to accomplish that you failed at. Everything you ever tried to accomplish that you did not end up accomplishing. Did you have to have it? Was it a must? Or was it just like another one of your bullshit ideas? Listen, we know the answer. Because if you had to have it, you would have it. Within reason, obviously. Some fucking dipshit is thinking of typing, oh, I wanted to fly. That was a fucking hate you people. You're the fucking worst. You're the worst among us. Motherfuckers who type shit like that. You know what I mean, dipshit. All right. You have to really raise your standards. So it's got to be, so it can't be, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month. No. It's not what you don't get what you want. You get what you have to have. You have to say, I will not make less than, no, you got to, I refuse to make less than $10,000 a month. It is a standard. And I will stop at nothing within reason to get it. Right. When I say within reason, you got to stay within the realms of morality. You got to stay within the realms of what's legal and what's healthy. Right. So if someone put a gun to your family member's head and said, listen, they kidnapped a family member, gun to their head, say, you got to make $10,000 within the next 3 months. You got to be making $10,000 a month 3 months from now, or this motherfucker is gonna get it, right? You figure it out. Oh, and they said, listen, you got to make sure you get 8 hours. You also got to get 8 hours of sleep every night. You got to spend time with your girlfriend every week, and you gotta make sure you work out. You can't do nothing illegal. If you put all those parameters in it, you'd still do it because you're tough enough. I believe you're tough enough. You're smart enough. You're resourceful enough. The only reason you're not doing it because your standards are too low. That's it. I was lucky to a certain extent that my father killed himself, and it made me the man of the family. And now I had to take care of all my family members and shit. I was thrust into a position where it had to be a must for me. Balling had to be a must. Making a ton of money was a must to take care of my family. I was placed in that position against my will. You have to find a way to put yourself in that position, and I believe you can do it, man. Like once you do that, you really see what you're made of. You're capable of a lot more than you think. All right. Number 2. You're around too many fucking broke people all the time. I'm telling you, man, poverty is contagious. That's the real pandemic. That's the real pandemic. You got to think about it, man. We become like the people we're around, whether we want to or not, whether we think about it or not, without even trying. This is why people from certain regions, right? They all have similar dialect. They all have similar accents, and they dress pretty much the same. They weren't born like that. They learned that involuntarily, right? They didn't even try to learn it. They just picked up on it, right? I sound like a slave because when black people escape, when they follow Harriet Tubman down the Underground Railroad, my ancestors, where'd they go? Chicago, the South Side. That's where I'm from. That's why some of us have a Southern twang in our voice, even though we from up north. But I didn't try to sound like this. This wasn't a goal. I'd sound like the nigga from Bringington if I got to pick my motherfucking voice. But instead, I sound like I'm about to sing a Negro spiritual. I digress. You're gonna pick up things involuntarily to people around you. And I actually want to show you a study. Hold up. Let me get my shit together. Let me get my mind together. Where is it? Okay. So I want you to look at this study. This study is insane. Put it back on me because I want to. Maybe I'll put a link to it or something. But basically, they analyzed the effects of members and friends, and what they noticed was that here's the thing: if you have a friend who becomes obese, you're 45% more likely to become obese as well, just by having a friend. This is a large meta study of tens of thousands of people, right? But here's what's more shocking, man. This is the crazy part. It's the crazy part. if let's say me and you are friends, right? If you have a friend who's obese, even if I never meet this motherfucker, according to the data, I'm 20% more likely to become obese. I don't even know this motherfucker, but because of his impact on you it has an impact on me, right? Fucking shit is contagious. The way people are is contagious, right? And so if you're around all these people who are thinking like broke boys, right? And then they're around here doing broke boy shit all the time, right? And they're thinking about lack and poverty, and they're not serious about success, and they want to party and all this other shit. You're going to inherit a lot of these qualities. So what you really need to do is to get into environments where people are balling, whatever you have to do, right? Whatever you have to do. So when I first moved to New York, because when I first moved to New York, I was kind of aware of this, right? So I moved into a neighborhood called Forest Hills in Queens. And I got the best apartment I can afford there. Y'all saw the videos. I was living in Forest Hills. Forest Hills is like a super rich neighborhood. So across the train tracks, there are huge mansions. Like huge mansions. It's $5-10 million homes, right? And Donald Trump grew up over there. Sorry. So I would ride my bicycle through there, right? And some of those people went to the gym by me, and I became cool with them, right? I wanted that proximity because I know that that's contagious. I'm telling you. And I'm not saying that's the reason I'm a multimillionaire now, but it definitely helps, right? Because when you actually see it, it feels more real. When you're around it, it feels more real, right? I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and it just feels hopeless in the hood. It feels like, if I know when I go back to the south side, and those kids there don't think they're going to grow up to be hedge fund managers or fucking successful businessmen. That they honestly don't know if they're going to be alive to 25, 30. And that's a real concern, right? I mean, it's real because I have a lot of friends who didn't make it to that age. And, I got sent away to military school because I got in some trouble. Nothing crazy, fights, skipping school, shootouts, normal kid stuff. And I got sent away to military school as a result. And I had a roommate there. His name was Corey Phillips. And Corey was from Wisconsin. The military school was in Wisconsin. I got sent away, right? And he was rich, but I didn't know that when we were roommates. I just thought he was, I figured most of those kids were rich. I was there on some sort of affirmative action kind of thing or whatever, at some discount. And I went to his house one weekend. We pulled up, man, it's a fucking big ass mansion. It's like the intro to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? That's how I looked walking out to his crib. And he had horses and shit in the back. I was like, oh shit, you motherfuckers got horses? I was like, man, what's your dad do? He said he's a doctor. I said, what kind of doctor? He's a foot doctor. Footyology? So he's a footyologist. And that's not what it's called. I know. And anyway, I was like, oh shit, you know what? I'm gonna go to college. Like, I don't know, like it changed my just being there and seeing the wealth and touching it, being there is like, it made me feel like it was possible. So I always look for reasons to be around people in situations where it made me feel like things were possible, right? And you see, I just got the $10 million. You just got this award for doing $10 million a year in my business. Boom. Clickfunnels gave me that. Russell Brunson, shout out to them. But the first person I knew I met who did that was my boy Owen Cook, who's one of my mentors. And I'm talking to him and his business partner. We just in LA doing something, and at that point I wasn't even making 1 million. And I asked him how much money he'll make. He said, yeah, last year we did about $10 million. Right? I was like, what the fuck? Prior to that, it didn't seem real. But I was like, man, these are guys are doing it. They're my friends. I think I can do it. Then what happens is I start to set my goals higher because of the proximity. It's very important. You got to find any way you can move to a different neighborhood. That's what I did. Move to a different neighborhood, you know, get around people, get some mentors, whatever you can do to be around some ballers, you need to do it, even if it's just work for them. All right. Number 3, you don't work hard enough, man. You don't work hard enough. All right. So every time I say this, some fucking dipshit says, you got to work harder, not smarter. But here's the thing, dumbass. Working smarter means you're using some sort of leverage to get more out of your work. That's the definition of working smarter. This is only a few types of leverage as it pertains to getting money. You can have money and then you can get more money. That's one form of leverage, right? You can have some sort of like media presence or ability to, or access to media. Like if you know the editor of a magazine, they can fucking post some shit about you all the time. Okay, that'll give you leverage. Or if you have a huge social media, you can get leverage like that, right? For example, Kim Kardashian can do an Instagram post today if she wanted to for some company, a sponsored post, and make like $1 million, right? That's leverage because she has the media, right? There's people, right? If you got employees or people who will work for you, you know what I'm saying? That's leverage. This company was built on that form of leverage. You know what I'm saying? And not this company. This country was built on that form of leverage. You know, so that's one form. And then there's like crazy talent. Like if you got a huge amount of skill, right? Like if like people are trying to draft you to the NBA because you're so good at basketball, or if you're like a genius coder or something. But if you broke, you probably don't have none of those forms of leverage. You probably don't have no money. You probably don't have no access to media. You probably don't have no people who are going to work for you, right? That's basically just takes money too. And you probably don't have an elite level world-class skill in any regard that people will pay you for, right? So what do if you don't have leverage? You got to use time. Broke niggas can't work smarter. That's why they broke, right? You got to use your time to work harder, right? Until you can gather up some leverage to work smarter, right? Stacking money. So here's what you do. Add up how much you work each week, right? Each week, on average, how much do you work? Then how much do you sleep each week, right? If you sleep 8 hours, it's 56 hours, right? Add up how much time you spend with your family or significant other, right? And then add up how much time you spend per week, right? Working out, right? Those are only 4 things a man has to do. Everything else is optional, right? You gotta work, you gotta work out, you gotta sleep, and you gotta spend time with your family. Now, again, every time I say that, there's some fucking dipshit. Who are these people? Who says, man, but what about shitting and showering and going to the bathroom? Like, look, listen, dipshit. You're not spending like 40 hours a week doing that shit. I'm talking about the 4 big things. Those are the 4 big things you have to do. Everything else is optional, right? Add that up. Add up that total amount. There's 168 hours in every week. Subtract the total from that and see how much time you have left, right? Spend that time getting money. I'm not telling you not to sleep. I'm not telling you not to work out. And I'm not telling you not to spend time with your family. I'm just saying how spend that extra time you got left over getting money. All of it. All of it. If you're serious about it, right? If you did step 1, if this is a must for you, you got to get money. So get another job, work Uber, fucking fresh direct, whatever you got to do. I don't give a fuck. I have 4 jobs. You know my story. I woke up early, train people in the morning. Then I worked security after that for 8 hours. And then I went, then I worked for my boy's moving company after, right? And I did that 5 days a week. And on the weekends, I woke up early, trained people, then managed a restaurant in Queens on the weekends. And I did it for like 2 years until I got enough leverage. And the first form of leverage I used was money. And I was building on my social media at the same time. So after those 2 years, I had some income, some money leverage, and I had some media leverage. And I was able to allocate that towards my goal. But you got to get leverage first. And the only way to do that is to work for it. It's not just going to happen. You can't work smarter if you broke. Broke niggas can't work smarter. That's why they broke. If you were smart, you wouldn't be broke. All right. Number 4. You spend time to save money, but you should be spending money to save time. All right. It's real simple math. All right. You fucking jag-offs always talk about work smarter. Every time I say work hard, you say, well, what about work smarter? All right. Here's what working smarter looks like. When you first start a business, it's super hard because you have to do every part of it. You got to handle the marketing. Boom. You got to handle the sales. Boom. You got to handle the R&D, or whatever you're selling. Boom. You got to handle the product development. Boom. You got to handle the customer service. Boom. You got to handle the tech shit, IT. My first website I was coding when I first started my business. There's a bunch of other stuff you got to do, but I'm just naming it, right? So once you start making some money, that's your first form of leverage. Boom. Then you can start paying someone else to do this, right? Or then you can start replacing yourself. Someone else can do the customer service. Someone else can do the IT. Someone else can do the product development. Someone else can do the sales. Someone else can do the marketing. And right now you're working smart. That's how you do it. Everyone thinks about that in the form of business, but no one thinks about that with their own life. Most people don't think about it with their actual life. And people try to clown me for this. That's why they broke, man. You dumb fucks. Right? So check this out. You think about your life now. What is some stuff you got to do? You gotta buy groceries. You gotta cook. Right? You gotta clean up. Right? Boom. You gotta do laundry. Boom. You gotta, what other like fucking domestic shit do motherfuckers do? Drive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right? You know, all types of stuff. All this stuff takes time, man. Now, all this stuff takes time, but remember, you broke, right? So you don't have no leverage to work smart. So you got to work more, right? You got to work more to get money so you eventually have some leverage. Now check this out. Time. Let's say you said, all right, man, I'm an Uber driver. And you're driving Uber, you're making, how much does the average Uber driver make an hour?
An hour? Have you actually searched it before? I can look it up.
Yeah, if we just find out, because I know we got to get out of here in a minute.
An hour. Here. 16, 14.
All right, 16, 14. Boom. We'll just say $16 an hour, right? Boom. Let's say I was just an Uber driver, right? Now, how long does it take me to buy groceries, clean up all this other stuff? Listen, let's say I'm asking someone to clean my house. Boom. For, maybe this is not the best example. Hold on. Let's just say you're doing something and you make, that's kind of low money, right? Let's say you're making $30 an hour, whatever you're doing. Maybe, whatever you're doing, right? $30 an hour. That's your hourly rate. Hourly rate. Boom. It takes you 2 hours to clean your house. Boom. Let's say it takes you an hour to clean your house, but you can hire somebody off like TaskRabbit or something to clean it for $20. If you clean it yourself, how much money did you save? Some people say, oh, well, I didn't pay that $20. I cleaned it myself, so I saved $20. No, dipshit. You lost $10, right? Because if you would have worked during that time, you would have actually made $10. And here's the thing. People understand this with business. I don't understand why I get a lot of pushback when I tell people they should do it in life. But I just read, but Hormozi said it recently. So, I got a lot of pushback. Maybe if you guys hear a white man say it, you'll finally listen. That seems to be the case sometimes, right? So my boy Hormozi said it. So, anything you can pay someone to do for less than your hourly rate, you should do it because it's a net positive in money for you, right? And if you're watching this video, you're probably a guy looking at the studies. You probably don't cook, clean, do laundry, or anything as good as somebody who you paid to do it with. You probably don't even do it that well, right? So they're going to do it better and for less than your hourly rate. And if you work during that time, if you get money during that time, it's a net positive. And if you broke, you need as much money as you can. Even when I was broke, I'm telling you guys, not broke, but even before I had a lot of money, right? I wasn't buying groceries. I wasn't cooking. I wasn't cleaning. I certainly wasn't doing laundry. And I didn't even drive. I just took, Uber didn't exist at the time, right? So I was on the train. But even as soon as Uber came out, I was like, good, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I done made money in Ubers. People try to roast me when I say, man, I made money in Ubers. I really have. Like my son lived in Queens. I lived in Manhattan. Every time I went down there, it was an hour there, an hour back. That's 2 hours of productivity. I got focused productivity. I made deals, fucking closed deals on that shit. I made money then. It's rich nigga shit, man. Broke niggas don't understand, right? You gotta spend money to save time and use that time to make money, right? And as long as you made more money than you spent, as long as you make more money than you spent to buy the time, it's a net positive. And if you broke, you need as much money as you can get. Stop doing all that domestic shit. I'm telling you, all of it, right? Number 5, you're not buying assets. So like, for example, a lot of guys, they get some money and they immediately start buying luxuries and raising their standards of living, right? But if y'all watch my videos, I wasn't raising my standards of living for like the last few years. I'm sorry, the whole time I've been on YouTube, you watch me, I've been on like 10 years, making tons of money. And even when I was making $1 million, I was riding around the Apple Watch, all this shit, I'm stacking money, buying assets and shit, getting my shit together. And then it wasn't until like recently, the last few years, I started kind of like flexing, right? But I used my assets to buy this shit. Like this watch, this iced out AP, I bought with money I had in the stock market. I didn't sell my stocks. I sold calls against my covered. I sold covered calls against the stocks I own, and I used the premiums to buy this watch. I could do this shit every month if I wanted to, right? Because if you do that, you can never go broke, right? So you spend money on assets. You work for money, spend that money on assets, use that assets to buy luxuries and things of that nature, right? Fuck, we're running out of time. It's gonna be hard to do all the rest of them. Yeah, that was my fault. I started late. Fuck, what should I do? Okay, real quick. Number 6. You think that recreation is the only way to enjoy life, right? People always say, man, you got to enjoy life, or I need to relax, or I deserve this, or it's like, nah, man, recreation is not the only way to enjoy life, right? You need to change your associations, right? What you can do is some of us feel like we get joy out of pushing ourselves, right? Seeing how much of our potential we can bring to the surface. And if you do that, right, once you start doing that and start getting that habit, it feels way better than like a party or a vacation or doing some sort of drug or something. You know what I'm saying? Like the people say enjoy life, they really mean some sort of recreation. What they really mean is escapism, right? Because they hate their life. But if you're pushing yourself every day, trying to be better, trying to get the most out of yourself, you'll start to love every day, right? And you'll actually start to enjoy life more than these people who are just looking for the next party or vacation, because every day you're seeing what you're made of. You're fulfilling your potential while they're just waiting for the next party. It's just escapism. You know what I'm saying? Number 7. 7th reason you stay broke is you stop learning. You stop learning. So when I was talking about selling covered calls to my boy, right? Selling covered calls against the stocks you already own. I was telling him, bro, I'm making like $20K a month minimum doing this shit off stocks I already own, man. You got a big portfolio on the stock market. You really should start doing this. He said, yeah, man, but I just don't want to learn nothing. You know, I kind of want to stick with what I know. I was like, no, but you can learn this. And he was wealthy too. And it's just, that made me sad, right? Because like I'm making a lot of money doing this shit. And that was just an example. But for me, I'm trying to learn every way to make money, every one I can. So I know how to do shit I've never done. right? I know how to do shit. I know a lot about a lot of different things, right? I can teach a drop shipping course right now if I wanted to. I swear to God, I could. I can teach you so much shit because if people are making money a certain way, I go out of my way to learn about it, even if I don't do it, because I want to make sure that I understand it. I may need that in the future. You know what I'm saying? And then, or it might be another way for me it might be another stream of income for me, right? But how do I know if I don't even learn, if I don't even try, if I'm just closed-minded about everything? I'm always learning. And I'm always learning about stuff I already know, stuff that I've like mastered. I'm still studying it all the time because I don't want to be arrogant and think that I know everything. I'm always looking for something that can make myself better because, you know, especially at high levels, it's actually more important because once you've already got a lot of money and got a lot of resources, that leverage, like a small improvement can make a big difference once you have that leverage. Keep learning. The more you learn, the more you earn knowledge. All right. Number 8, last one. You a bitch, right? You know, for real, man, motherfuckers be scared of everything, right? They just be scared. Oh, what if it doesn't work? What if I lose money? What if I'm embarrassed? What if? Like, what happens if you lose money? What happens if it doesn't work? Nothing. You're not going to die. You're not going to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? You'll be fine. Especially if you broke. Like, fuck, you got to lose. You motherfuckers have mastered poverty, right? You've mastered that shit. You've been broke for mad long. You're good at it. So if you lose money or it doesn't work, you're just going to be broke where you are right now. Who gives a fuck, right? Now, if you got something to lose, you still might be scared. But you can't let that fear. There's 2 types of people, right? Both these people have goals they want to accomplish, things they want out of life, right? And in front of them and that goal, in between them and that goal is fear. Everybody has fear. Everybody has some trepidation, right? You know, the first person looks at that fear and cowers. Oh no, I ain't gonna try that. You know, Harriet Tubman had a husband. Yeah, the founder of the Underground Railroad. She freed all them slaves. Yeah, she had a husband, and she tried to get him to go with him, and she said, "Oh no, Harriet, I'm just gonna stay here and be a slave. That's too risky. Harriet. I ain't going down there." That's person A. That motherfucker died a slave. Cool. Then you got person B. Person B has the same fears. It says, you know what, man? I'm going to face my fears and do it anyway and be courageous. Right? The person B doesn't have less fear. They have more courage. Right? Harriet left her bitch ass husband in the slave house and went and, freed tens of thousands of slaves who were all scared. When you gonna free yourself, man? Because right now you stuck in bondage. You stuck in a prison made of your own fears. Right? Even if you fail, guess what? At least you can look at yourself and know that you're not a bitch. Right? Because you got to live with that. The consolation prize for not going after your goal is a lifetime of what? Regret and looking at yourself, knowing that you a bitch. And then you see other people out here accomplishing their goals and doing shit. And you'll say, it's easy for him. He's lucky. It's blah, blah, blah. You come up with all those excuses. You become a motherfucking hater. Y'all the worst among us. You know what I'm saying? But the real G's go for it. You don't need less bravery. You need more courage. And the only way to do that is practice. The only way to develop courage is practice. And every time you want to do something, but you're too scared to do it, you're building a habit. Being a bitch is habit forming. Everything you do is habit forming. It's going to be easier to be a bitch next time. And every time You face your fear. You build that muscle up, that courage muscle. And next time you're in that situation, because you will be in again, it's going to be easier for you to face that fear until you get to a point with me where that's the default. Oh, I'm scared. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I might be scared, but I'm certainly not a fucking bitch. Certainly. All right. And that's the attitude you need to have. All right. All right. That was it for the Rich Talk. We went a little long today because we started a little late today. All of that is my fault. If I didn't get to your super chat, man, I don't mean I don't love you. You helped with you helping with Thot Repellent. You helping us bring this to market, man. You doing God's work. See y'all next week. On time next week, I promise. We out.